Hi, I'm Rachel Kimsey, voice of Wonder Woman in Justice League Action, and Rachel Kane in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, voice of Alice in Genshin Impact, and Claire Rieveldt in Trails of Cold Steel, and all kinds of other things, including The Young and the Restless, Days of Our Lives, and everyone's favorite Don't Look Under the Bed on Disney Channel. You're watching In Conversation with Amber the Fangirl. Let's get into it.
Hi guys, Amber Jones here. Welcome back to In Conversation with ATF. Today, another Wonder Woman, literally, joins me on my podcast. She's not just known for Wonder Woman in Justice League Action and Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, the Scooby of a Thousand Faces. She is also known for her live-action work, such as Mackenzie Browning in The Young and the Restless, Meredith Hudson in Days of Our Lives, Petty Officer Erica Pirelli in NCIS, and she's also done some video games as well. She has just done the Legend of Heroes video game, and also its anime spin-off. She voices Claire Rieveldt. There we go, I've said it correctly. Oh, there we go. Oh, say that again, sorry.
Well done.
Thank you. We have a bit of microphone thing because of, what Zoom's like, so sometimes I'll talk and it'll cut out what Rachel's saying, so, it's just do bear with me whilst I try and perhaps lip read and stuff like that, but, yep, I'll try my best. So my guest has also been in video games. She's voiced Alice in Genshin Impact, Betty Brant in Spider-Man 3, Contractee Cressel in Guardian Tales, Rachel Kane in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and many more. My guest is Rachel Kimsey.
Hello.
Give me hi. So lovely to have you on my show. There we go.
I'm already smiling so much that I'm having that weird muscle headache behind your ears. Do you have
Me
that?
too. Yeah, well, I have really big dimples. People always compliment me on this, so whenever I smile, they hurt so much. But then I always complain that I stop smiling, I look so disinterested. But in reality, my cheeks are hurting from smiling so much.
I have that. I can always tell when I'm doing lots of little kid animation stuff because I start getting that big smile headache from the back of my head.
Yeah, especially with well, I haven't done a lot of animation. Well, to think about it, no, I haven't done any animation at all, like shows or anything. I've only done I've done a theme park ride, I've done a machine, and I've recently got a job for something to do with another no, not another theme park. It's like a holiday park. Can't exactly reveal what it is because nothing has been properly planned, but the job just came through this morning. And
Congratulations.
thank you. So it's quite exciting. It really is quite exciting. But we're not here today to talk about my voiceover career. That's for a separate episode. In fact, you know what? Someone did say you should do an episode on yourself and get someone to interview you. Sorry, I'm going to talk about myself again. Yes, we're here to talk to Rachel Kimsey. Yeah.
I worked at a theme park at the beginning of my career when I lived in Taiwan.
You lived in Taiwan?
I did. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I did the live stunt show
Yeah.
at this theme park in Taiwan, and as a result, somewhere in my bucket list of that, I want to be a theme park voice. So I am envious of your experience. That is so cool that you're doing that. That's part of that memorable experience people get to have every time they're there. I love it. That's super awesome. I'm still holding out hope that I get to do that someday. That's so cool.
Me. I mean, I'd love to be Wonder Woman. I'd love to be in a cartoon someday. So we got equal dreams. Yeah, of course. First of all, of course, obligatory, starting it off with the people on my phone case. Well, I mean, I've met Peter Cullen as well, but I don't. Have you met Peter Cullen?
I haven't.
No, well, he's on my phone case, and so is Franklin.
So good.
Yeah, so that I met them in Scotland, and then Kevin
Nice.
They were so lovely, and so, yeah. So you've never met Frank Welker, even though you've been on Scooby-Doo before.
Nope. Someday. We have so many people in common, but it's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Did you meet Gray when you recorded in the studio?
I adore Gray without exception. She's just the loveliest. She wasn't she the loveliest? She's the loveliest.
Yeah. I met her in December. Yeah, that was quite fun. That was really fun. I think all the Telford Comic Cons are fun because their predominant focus is they do television actors, but they do a lot of voice actors as well. I think last time they had Jason Marsden, Gray Delisle, and a few others, and then this next month, I keep saying this at May like it's 2 months away. Next month they've got Tara Strong and Rob Paulson going. So
Those are like the cream of the crop. They're the best of the best.
I know, yeah, like Welsh Court, they're just perfect. I mean, like heck, they were the ones who got Kevin Conroy for last year April's event. So that's how I met him. So I was gonna say, Scooby doing Guess Who real quick. Of course, you voiced Wonder Woman, and wow. So was that Wonder Woman sort of based off the Justice League action Wonder Woman, or was it just Wonder Woman in general?
No, I believe so because the easiest way to tell usually is by the styling, and the styling of that character was the same as the Justice League action styling. So like it was the same. There are always such minor variations on the character design, right? And the character design.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna be a really bad actor right now. I'm just now blanking on his name. Our amazing character designer.
Hmm.
Sorry. But the character design was so cool. It was so cool that I literally took a picture of her hair and at one point to a hairdresser. I was like, "Can you make my hair do this?" And she goes, "No, you
If
have
it makes you feel any better, I follow him on Instagram, but Dave Sherburn.
also good. Not who I'm thinking of, but also great.
Oh
Um,
man, Tracy Mark Lee.
my
I'm having a look on IMDb. I'm just looking kind of Steven Silver,
also very good. So many
John
good designers.
Suzuki, Thomas Perkins, Shane Glines, Rachel
Shane,
Geiger.
Shane did it. Oh gosh, Shane designed ours.
He
And
did
he's
4 episodes. Yeah.
well, but he did the principal character design.
Oh my
Um,
god, he worked on Batman Beyond in the Batman the animated series as well.
he's so good. He's so
No
ridiculously
way.
talented
And he
and
did
beloved.
Justice League. He was the character designer for Superman. Yeah, no way. Oh my god.
So
Oh
I
my
wish that I had it, but like one of my favorite trivias, if you go back through Shane, the original character design that he pitched for Wonder Woman for Justice League Action, she had the like half shaved head and it looked awesome. And they were
Mhm.
like, we love it, but we're not going to do it. So he kept to the styling of it, but like gave her the hair back.
Oh
Um,
wow. Oh
he's
my
really,
god.
really cool. Like he's a great
I'm having a
designer.
look at it now. Oh my
The way
gosh.
that you can usually tell kind of like which iteration of the character they're inspired by is like some of those minor styling details, like the cool star earring that he gave me and like the cool fringed
So
skirts
cool.
and stuff. So I'm
Wow.
pretty sure that that was intended on that universe, which is cool.
Have you met Susan Eisenberg, another fellow Wonder Woman? Have
Yeah,
you?
he's the best.
Well, I've just had her on my show. I think a few months or weeks ago. Have you ever discussed Wonder Woman together?
You know what's so funny is so I'm gonna be honest about my weaknesses as a human.
Okay.
I stumbled kind of backwards into my voiceover career. I was doing on camera stuff and I always liked reading books out loud. That was just
Yeah.
like a thing I liked doing. And so I approached a manager and I was like, I want to like record books on tape.
So like an audiobook narrator.
But this is before audiobooks were called audiobooks. We was like they were literally like books on cassettes because I'm 90. And I was like, I just like reading out loud. I think that'd be great. And he introduced me to a voiceover agent, and the first thing they did was say, "We think that you're great, but we don't do audiobooks, but come do this other stuff." And so I was sort of treating it as this like backup thing that I was doing to everything else, just because it was kind of fun. And whenever something worked out, great, and when it didn't, fine. And in a way, I'm really, really grateful because that made my putting in the time, like learning about this career in this industry, it made it really easy because I wasn't hung up on becoming successful right away because it wasn't my first priority, um, for better or for worse. So the thing that was really wild is like regularly meeting Susan in the waiting room of our agency and chatting with her because she's just a lovely human being. I didn't know that she was Wonder Woman because I wasn't because here's the truth. I was not doing my homework the way that I should have on this business.
Yeah.
And everything changed when I started taking it more seriously and like paying attention and doing my homework. And I had watched and consumed the things that I was interested in making, but I wasn't being a good, responsible, respectful actor of the business and I wasn't doing my homework. And so I knew Susan just from like meeting her and liking her
Yeah.
work. lovely. And then one day I was like, "Are you Wonder Woman?" She's like, "Yeah."
So this was before you did Justice League Action, right?
And it was just it was so lovely to realize that, like, as I have found over and over in this portion of the business, like, the loveliest people work in voiceover, and the loveliest
Yeah.
people stay, and it's generous and it's warm, and like the people now that I'm like on a list with who've played Wonder Woman are my heroes and people that I love and respect, and I feel so fortunate to be even included on that list sometimes. Like I went to San Diego Comic-Con and I stood in front of the costume from the live action Wonder Woman show, and I
Mm-hmm.
like started tearing up because Wonder Woman was so important to me, and that show
Oh,
was so important to me as a kid that even I didn't realize how important it was to me. And I was standing right there and I was like, this is the thing. This
fangirl
okay.
moment. Yeah, giant
Um,
fangirl moment.
and so the very idea that I have even the tiniest piece of that legacy feels incalculable, truly. Like, I remember when I got the pilot for this show, and I had this fear, right? Because I think every actor has it a little bit, this fear of like, but
Yeah.
what if I'm terrible and they fire me, right? Like, oh,
Why do you think they hired you?
look, that's the right attitude to have. But I remember I had this like this flash of fear of like, but what if I blow it and they fire me? And then immediately what came washing over me was, if the worst case scenario happens and they fire me because I'm terrible, or they fire me because they just want someone else, which happens sometimes, I still got to be Wonder Woman today. And
Yeah.
that's enough.
That's the spirit.
And it wasn't something I had to like make myself think. It just like washed over me, and I got to stay and I got to do the whole show, and I still feel that gratitude. Like, I got to do it, and that is enough. And I'm a part of a legacy that's so meaningful to me and to many other people, and that is enough. And that is really, really special.
Yeah.
And my children just want to play with Batman toys. So, you can't win.
Yeah, oh, bless. Well, you're a mum, right? You said before you've got three children. I didn't know. I actually didn't know until you told me. Um,
I have three little people that I have made and so far kept alive for a couple years.
do they know about your role of Wonder Woman? Have they met any of the cast of Justice League?
No, so my kids are all under 5.
Oh,
And the
what?
thing really funny
Oh,
about little kids is like they they don't really get that there's a person who creates the voice of an animated character, right?
yeah.
You don't like, so my husband is also a voice actor.
Is
And
he?
yes, my husband is Matthew Watterson. He's also a voice actor, and he's on, so for example, he's on a show called Troll Hunters. And the troll that he plays on Troll Hunters is a big blue troll called Drawl.
Yeah.
Um, and at one point we were watching that show with my oldest daughter, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, does he sound a little bit like does he sound a little bit like someone you know? And she's like, no. Does he sound a little bit like daddy? She's like, he sounds like a troll and daddy sounds like a daddy. And I was like,
Oh,
yep.
it's
and
sweet.
and so it's that really funny thing where like we've tried to sort of explain what we do a little bit to them, and they kind of understand like when we go to work, but they don't. The magic of being that age is like the full suspension of disbelief is so powerful that they don't really get it, and in a way that's just it's wonderful. Like, they know that we have a large handful of Wonder Woman toys in the house.
Oh, bless.
Troll Hunters toys in the house. We'll probably have some X-Men toys around when Daddy's show comes out again. I can't tell you what he plays, but he's in X-Men 97. It's very exciting.
In the new X-Men 97. Oh my gosh, that's so
With
cool.
my Jake Castorena from Justice League Action directing over there, which is so it's I'm like I was like, now we're sharing Now we're sharing directors. I love it.
That's
Um, but it's really fun because they don't get it, and it's kind of hilarious that they're like, so you just like talk? That's your job? You talk? They don't get it. It's charming. I love it.
Have they got any Batman toys?
Yes, and they choose like so. I have like a plate that has like Wonder Woman and Catwoman and Supergirl on it, and then another plate that has like Batman and Superman and the Flash on it. They totally fight over the Batman plate. Like, dudes, what?
Man,
It's okay.
man. Kids these days.
I love your Batman. I love your Batman.
Oh, bless them. Well, honestly, like, I mean, heck, I remember seeing a video, and it's actually old grade Al dancing with Bill Nye during the filming of a Scooby Doo and Guess Who episode at Salami Studios. And the camera pans, and you can see Frank standing there, and next to him is a big Justice League action poster that has Kevin's signature on it, your signature, everyone else's signature. You filmed at Salami Studios, right?
We did a lot of our ADR there, and it was great. They're so
Oh,
great there. We love them.
and it was
Jealous
wet.
of that poster because they got everybody on it. I was like, I want a poster with everybody on it.
And what did you say then? It kind of cut off.
Oh, I'm jealous of their poster because they got everybody to sign it, and I don't have one with everybody's signature.
Oh,
I wish I did. It's awesome.
and voice director for it was Wes Gleason. What's it like to work with him?
Wes is one of the kindest, most generous directors I've ever worked with. He has stepped into Andrea's shoes in a way that I think everyone can admire, and absolutely made his own legacy. I don't mean to say that he's, stepped into someone else's legacy. He's now crafted so many incredible shows and films. And the thing that's really wonderful about Wes is he trusts the actors to find their own inspiration along the way. Like he'll guide it, but he also, you feel this overwhelming sense of trust that what you bring to the table is of value,
Yeah.
and gives you that credit to bring something special to the table. And if you have something to offer, that's what they take. And he's wonderful. I really love Wes.
I need to get more voice directors on my podcast. I think, like, I've
He
only had. I'm trying to
so
think.
much.
I've had. I've had Susan Blue on. Who else have I had? I probably had a few more on. I've had Sarah Jane Sherman. Sarah Jane. My head's going blank. I'm sorry. Look, I've been at a Comic Con yesterday. It's been crazy. Yeah, Andrea, I'd love to get on, but I don't think she does podcasts. Wes would be a good one. Colette Sunderman, Chris Zimmerman, Chris Salter. I think that's the name she goes by now. But yeah, it's just really cool to have all these people and just explain the craft of how they do it, and the people they've worked with,
Mhm.
doing the
It's
tea.
well, and it's such a gift. uh, It's hard to explain until you're experiencing it. There's a difference between somebody who comes with their vision of what they want you to do and somebody who comes saying, let's do this together.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no wrong way to do it, but it's really rewarding when somebody says, hey, let's do this together. Let's collaborate together because I think that you are an important part of this
Yeah.
story. Wes is that kind of director, and it's lovely. It's a lovely experience. And because we were so lucky on this show to do group records together, because so often you're recording on your own, but on this show we recorded with a group as often as possible. It was a lot of like, all right, we set you guys up, now let her rip. Like, bring the magic, and then we'll do it again and find what new magic we could find. And that was really delightful, and a unique experience. We don't get to do that very often.
Oh, wow, that's so cool though, honestly. Like, and speaking of group records, of course, you've obviously had the opportunity to work with Kevin Conroy and I think Mark Hamill, maybe?
Yes.
Wow. So spill the tea. What was it like working with them?
So the first thing is the two of them are like, it's like when you see like 6-year-olds who haven't seen each other over summer break coming back to school. Like, they adore each other so much. Like, it was the most warm, loving, friendly, like seeing them see each other again was almost as good as meeting either of them independently. Um, the I've said this before, but it's just true. Like, the thing that people wouldn't, I think, immediately guess about Kevin is that to me, his strongest trait is his joy and his happiness and like the light that he brings into every room that he was in. And it was so thrilling to be in a room with somebody who has crafted such a grounded, rooted, nuanced character that was so important to so many of us over so many years. But the overwhelming feeling when he walks in the room is just joy. Like that's such a gift, and it raises the level of the whole rest of the room. And when the two of them were together, it was just honestly there was just smiles and laughter the whole time. There was one day where I remember watching Mark record the Joker, and I was just sitting there in awe of him as he was just like in the microphone and doing this work, and and I was just I remember having the thought, I was like, I wish I could record this, and I would never violate his privacy by doing so, but oh, I wish everyone could see how amazing and creative this is. And right at that moment, he finished the take and sits back and goes, oh, thank God nobody can see me. I look ridiculous. And I was like,
You
that's why.
saved yourself there. You saved yourself.
But that's why he's so good. Because that level of self consciousness that any normal human has when you're putting yourself all the way out there, he has it and he puts it out there anyway. And to be in the presence of that is so inspiring. To be in that place where it's like I don't hold back even when it feels so vulnerable, because that's what it is, right? That's vulnerability, that feeling of like, oh, I wish, I hope nobody judges me for, right? That's vulnerability. To take a character like the Joker, or in Kevin's case like Batman, that people think of as so strong and so bold and so iconic, and layer that vulnerability into it, that's why they're so effective. That's why it's not that's why people remember those actors with those roles, and why they work so well together, because they don't just show up and do superhero or supervillain, right? They bring something so vulnerable and so special to the table, and because they're doing that, everyone in the room is better.
Yeah.
Every actor is better, every director is better. Everybody rises to the occasion when when somebody shows up and says, "I am not afraid to show you the fullness of who I am.
Yeah.
Let's do it together. We can be courageous like that." And my vulnerability says, "I'm talking about superhero cartoons." But I really do think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I really do. I think the reason that these stories and these characters resonate with people so much is it gives us space to feel courageous on our own, and to feel brave on our own, and to step into those footsteps, and to be a part of any of that legacy is a gift. And everyone
Yeah.
who loves it is a part of that legacy too. You don't have to just be lucky enough to get to say the words out loud. Like all of us who are reading it at home and watching it at home, like we're all a part of that story. But the truth is, like, there's a part of me that was like, they're as amazing as I always hoped. Like, they're as lovely human being, and they're as brave actors, and they're as kind and generous in the room as the kid who grew up watching Star Wars and watching Batman ever believed. There was a day though, I will say, there was a day where we suddenly looked down and nobody had done it on purpose, but three guys happened to be guys, were all wearing Star Wars Vans, and I was wearing a Star Wars t-shirt, and somebody else had a Star Wars handbag, and we were like,
What's Mark gonna say?
a little weird. And he walked in and was like, hey guys. Because we're all nerds. We're all just nerds who love this stuff.
Yeah.
It's all
We're all
just
friends in this industry. We're all a big family, you know.
yeah, it's just it could have been the same thing with with Batman shirts. Like it's great. I love it. It's to get to work with your heroes and get to create something that has been life changing in your own world is just a gift. It's
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. It's like your dream job essentially. And when the world sadly lost Kevin, well, this is a very obvious answer, of course, because there is no other answer. How did you feel?
It was so shocking. And I was so sad. And the thing that's interesting to me at this point now, because it's been a short amount of time, um, is because of the nature of what we do, it's almost hard to remember that he's gone sometimes because we would only see each other from time to time.
Yeah.
And because we would, it feels like you keep meeting your friends over and over again when you hear their voices or see the things they've made. And so I keep having to remember over and over again that he's gone.
Yeah.
And and I can't even I can't pretend to have known him a fraction as well as so many other people who worked with him for so much longer or knew him for so long. And I'm just grateful for the time we got, but it's the world is a slightly smaller place without him in it. He was a bright light and a brilliant person, and he was full of love, and all of that is before you even get to what a talented actor he was. And do you know how great he could sing? Like it just fortunately you can still find some of the I now have a couple of his recordings of his songs that I play from time to time just to enjoy them because they're wonderful. Uh,
Yeah.
and it's always hard to lose somebody and certainly to lose them what feels like too young. It'll always feel too young, you
Yeah.
know. Um
Definitely.
and I'm so grateful that we have so much of his legacy to keep holding on to over and over again.
Yeah, and you were one of the few people who went to his memorial recently. What was it like?
It was really special. It was small and intimate. And I was very grateful to be able to go and to share that time and to talk with friends and and um remember our experiences and celebrate his life. It was a good Irish wake that way where we just, we celebrated him.
Oh yeah,
And
because he had Irish ancestors, didn't he? He did a few of their Dublin events. Oh, bless him.
and it was there actually that Gary had played several recordings that I'd never heard before and went and tracked down after that of his music. It
Wow.
was really lovely. It was any time that you lose somebody you love, it's a gift to be able to spend any minutes with other people who loved them because it's the opportunity to have them alive with you again. And that was really, but it was lovely. It was lovely to be there. And I know that there were people who wanted to be there who couldn't for, a number of reasons, but everybody who was there was grateful to be available and included, and that we didn't get rained out because California is having weather, which is
Or was
very,
it outside?
yes, for safety and
Oh right, okay. I know there was a few Batman there. Diedrich was there, Wilfred Dell, Roger Craig Smith.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's mainly the only three I know who went really. Will I
So
actually have met. Yeah. Oh,
Will's a
there we go.
delight. He's a
I know,
sweetie.
yeah, yeah. He's just done a Comic Con in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
It's kind
yeah.
of fun to listen to people being like, "Oh, I'm going to see you in whatever town they were going to be in next." I was like, I should do more cons, I think. Where are you guys
What
all going?
you've barely done any conventions, or have you not done any
No.
conventions?
Feel free to invite me, cons. I'd love to come.
WCC Telfer, you listening? Honestly, that I think you'd be a really good fit for because I know that Susan and George Newburn just did MegaCon Orlando this weekend. Yeah, so you should test that. Who played Superman in Justice League Action?
Jason Lewis, Jason J. Lewis.
Jason Lewis. Yeah, well, why don't you two do a convention together?
He's
I
a
think
he's
it'd
a
be
no,
really
we
cool.
would it would be a blast. We have a great time. Jason's he's a dear friend of mine to this day, and we still talk regularly.
That's wonderful. Wow. Let's talk about some of your live action work now. Just gotta look at my notes because I'm hopeless at remembering things. So you've done okay. I've got to talk about Days of Our Lives. So was that a recurring role that you still did? It said 2009, so I don't know if it was just for that year only, or are you still doing it, or what's that like?
So Days of Our Lives was a really fun character. I Are you familiar with the Edgar Allan Poe story Cask of Amontillado? So the Cask of Amontillado is where
No.
one character decides in order to punish another character, he walls him up into the inside of a building and leaves him in there with a cask of wine. Well, my character basically got to do that to one of the heroes of the show. Um,
Ooh.
I, I, uh, it was a blast. I blamed him for my sister's death. I believe not rightly, but I can't remember exactly. And so I came back to punish him, and I ended up bricking him into a wall in a basement and eventually broke him out and then threw him in a river because what are you gonna do? It's daytime TV. You gotta take action. But
Yeah.
I think officially Meredith is not dead, so she could come back at any time, and I'm game. It was a blast. It was really fun to just come in and straight play a bad guy.
Yeah.
Great. It was so fun.
Would you like to do more on camera work?
I love working on camera. That's where I started. That's where all of my work began. It's been nice in these last few years while having babies to not have anybody critique my hair or my face or my body. That's been really refreshing. Which are things that happen when you're on camera because people are looking at you. When nobody's looking at you, nobody says, "Hey, could you lose those baby pounds?" And then I don't have to say, "Go stuff it." But I'm coming around to the time where I think it'd be really nice to start pursuing that work again. My youngest is almost a year and a half, and it starts to feel
Oh,
like we're working our way back in that direction. But I love that work, and it's also been really nice to be able to take a moment um, where my package doesn't have to be the thing I sell.
yeah.
It's one of the things I love about voice work is that it's about what you can do and not about how you seem. I've played everything from 6-year-old kids to super soldiers to superheroes. Um, and that's not something that I get to do on camera. Like um, getting to have a wider breadth of work and for nobody to care if I showed up really, really tired because my kids didn't sleep that night is wonderful. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't have to go around with ice cubes over my eyes to try and get back to work. And that's great.
So what's your just out of curiosity, what's your ideal weekend activity or like ideal activity to do when you're not working?
I mean, I'm so in mom mode right now, honestly. Like I love being a mom and I love having that energy of little people around me. Like my favorite thing is like take my kids to the beach or take them to the zoo or like yesterday we did tie-dye for the first time and made a
Wow.
huge mess and they all made and like my kids are 5, 3 and 1. Like they made their own tie-dye clothes. Like the day before I just got a giant cardboard box and just gave them paint. It was like, let's do this. I have 15 chickens and
Ooh,
my chickens just hatched 8 babies and so I'm like obsessed with like
you're a chicken mum now.
my poor husband is like we're gonna end up with sheep or goats. I was
Or
like, or
pigs.
pigs. So I'm in that moment right now where I'm like getting my garden to grow or getting my animals to thrive or seeing my kids, light up while creating. Like that's my biggest joy right now. There was a time where it was, skydiving or hiking or having like grand adventures of my own. Right now, like I just love seeing the things that I'm growing come to life and that's my joy right now.
Oh, that's so sweet. What's your dream pet to have? Like any animal, pick any animal you could have as a pet.
It's so yeah, that's hard. You've picked a bad one for me because I I have so I moved during the pandemic. We moved to a more rural area outside of Los Angeles, and I was like, well, we should get chickens because we've got some yard now. I was like, well,
Yeah.
we have this corral and then nothing lives in it, and we could get pigs, or we could get sheep, or we could get goats, or I could like, what if we got horses? I don't know how to
Mm.
take care of horses. I'd have to
One of
help
those
out.
Shetland ponies, they're small ones. That'd be
I
so
want a
cute.
mini donkey. You know what? I've just answered. Mini donkey. That's what I want.
Donkey.
But mini donkeys need friends, so you have to have two mini donkeys so that they can hang out together because they need buddies. I've never had pets before in my life, and now I have 14, 14 chickens, 8 baby chicks, a cat and a dog, and apparently a grand desire to have many doggies. So, someday come to my farm. Because
More than
apparently
happy
that's
to.
what's going to happen.
More than happy to give you a visit because, as I said, something about me traveling over to America when I don't think this was right. I can't remember, but yeah, I am planning a visit to California. Actually, I'll have to come and visit your farm. Honestly, it'll be fun after that. After what I mean, yeah, so much fun. Honestly, what about a ferret? Like the little ferrets.
Ferrets are not my jam, mostly because ferrets would eat my chickens. But have
They'd eat
you
what?
Netherland dwarf rabbits?
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh! Yeah, I had a lot rabbit for a good 6 years. She was so beautiful,
They're
and
so
she
cute. So,
she
so
passed away about
Netherland dwarf
10 years
rabbits are
ago.
like this big, and
Yeah,
flesh giant rabbits are like this big. And I think it would be really fun to have one of each.
that'd be funny. That'd be funny. Don't talk to me or my son ever again.
You'd be like,
Honest, they just got like a little tiny one.
just bunny
Yeah,
on bunny. Me.
bunny on bunny. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. I've got to ask. Um, what's your favorite color?
Green.
Green. Okay, a lot of people usually say blue.
Blue is a blue. My understanding is blue is the most common favorite color, and I do love me some tealy turquoise. But if I had
Yeah.
to choose, I would say like an olive drab green or like a nice mossy earthy green.
Ah, so essentially like oops, this then. Well, it's not
Not bad.
really,
Not bad.
thing, but it's paper, you know. Yeah, it's the closest I can get. But
Funny because I have small kids, they ask me about my favorite color all the time. They're like, "Well, Dad's favorite color is purple, and Mom's favorite color is green. And my favorite color, their favorite colors change all the time." But I was like, "Well, I have thought about it now because tiny people ask me all the time."
got it set in stone. Mine is yellow. Yellow
I
is my
love it.
favorite.
Yellow is so warm and sunshiny, and
I know. Yeah, and also like amber's like a variant of yellow, as in the color amber. So
I
it's
love.
like
Oh
kind of
yeah,
fits. Yeah, yeah. I used to hate being reminded of it, but now I'm reminded.
oh
Say that
no,
again.
I was just, see, I'm talking over you. My bad.
No, no, no. It's because like it cuts out sometimes. Like when sometimes when I talk over someone, it cuts out the other person what they're saying.
I was just saying that amber is my favorite stone.
Is it? Oh, I'm honored. I'm very honored.
I
I'm
love
honored, Rachel.
it. It has life, it has history, it has weight.
Yeah, and like the little
Brings its
insects, like
story with it. I love it.
fossilized in it. They're just so tiny, and like you're thinking, how did they get in there? Well, did they put them in there? I don't know, but I'm not a scientist, so I can't really answer that question. But it's just to probably have to Google it or something like that. Um, um, just real quick, Rachel, I'd like to ask: have you got any projects in the timeline that you can talk about that you're not under NDA or anything that's just released or anything?
Everything is
What you
always
doing nowadays?
NDA, but the Trails of Cold Steel or Trails, I don't trails, I'm not sure which trails they're calling it. Where I'm playing Claire Rieveldt, that anime is currently airing, and that's been really, really fun. It's my first I've done anime games, but it's my first anime dub, which has been really, really fun, and to do it with a character that I love. So that's really fun that's out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't You can hear me on CNBC. I can never, it's so funny. I can never talk about games. I just did one the other day where I was like, can you tell me what the actual name of the game is? Because I'd love to be able to talk about it when it comes out. And they finally told me, I was like, because the first time we recorded this was 5 years ago. And we
5 years ago.
recorded it again a couple weeks ago. And I was like, my guess is probably it's going to come out soon then. And they were like, yes, you're one of the last people who were recording. I was like, can you tell me what it is? So that's the funny part, is there's the NDAs, but then there's also sometimes, like, even when the NDA is done, sometimes I don't know about a project I've been on until it's done. So for example, Genshin Impact, such a cool thing to be a part of. I've been recording on it for years. They just announced me a couple weeks ago. My voice has actually appeared in game, but they wanted to keep some of the mystery of the character so they didn't announce me attached to it, which is totally fine. But I totally get it. It's really fun, but it's also when people are like, "Oh, you just got on." I was like, "No, I've been doing this for several years now, but now I can finally tell you that I'm a part of it."
That was so cool though, honestly. You're like
Yeah,
in such a big like sort of big universe because there's got a lot of voice actors in a Genshin house.
yeah, yeah, which is fun, and it's there are a few of those like every once in a while I'm like, is this the fourth Call of Duty I've done or the fifth, or is this a DLC for the third one, or how, like, which part of this joined universe are we all a part of? And so all of it's a good time, but honestly, every once in a while, I rely on other people to tell me what I'm in because I'm never sure what I probably should do better Google alerts for myself. But
Perhaps maybe. But you know, it doesn't. I know I've spoken to a few people who can't really remember some of the stuff that they've done, and that's okay. That's okay. They've done too much. Like they can't remember, but they've done a lot, and that I admire them for.
some of it is that because you've done a lot, and some of it you do like a little piece of a big thing. But
Yeah.
honestly, some of it is because these companies, and appropriately so, are trying to protect their properties. Like,
Yeah.
we are not given very much information. So sometimes, like, I'm not capable of remembering the thing that I came in and did 200 lines on because they never told me what it was. So I don't know. I can't tell you what it was because they never told me. And I just wait. And sometimes I will hear things and it's like, is that the code name this? Or is that code name sound like the code name on this thing? And sometimes you
I
know,
don't know.
a lot of times you don't. So a lot of times when voice actors are like, oh, I don't remember, it's literally because they don't give us anything to remember. Like, you have to have something to anchor it into your brain. Um, and then it's really fun to see it when it comes out because we can see like, oh, now I remember saying those words. And then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, that is really fun. I'm so happy that it came together. Like doing uh Misfortune was so much fun, but I didn't know when it came out or which part of gameplay she was in. And then there's another edition that somebody else plays Misfortune and I play Misfortune in this version. And so I'm like, I'm not sure which one you're referring to, but then somebody will play a clip and I'm like, that one was me. Nope, that's Laura. That one's me. That one's Laura.
Is a misfortune? Is misfortune about the game with the girl? And it's like I can't. How do I describe it as a? I'm trying to Is it called like Little Misfortune or something?
No, no, no. It's am I gonna get this wrong? It's League of Legends.
Oh right. Sorry about
No,
that. Sorry
wait.
about that. Oh dear.
This is terrible. Is it bad? I'm like checking my Funko Pops. I'm like, which one is this?
No, it's okay. It's completely okay.
Where is she? That's the
Who's
one.
on the run?
Yep, it's League of Legends. See,
League of Legends.
it's like I'm like 99% sure it's that, and then I'm like, wait, or is that the other one with the? No, that one's League of.
Oh, I'm glad we got there.
Go for it. It's so much fun, and I loved every second of doing it. And I still didn't. I was like, somebody has to tell me when it's out and how to find it because I don't know.
Yeah,
They-
perhaps
they-
maybe.
so it's always that funny mystery of like, sometimes I don't know what I can tell you, and sometimes I literally don't know what it is until someone else tells me. So our job is weird and
Yeah, yeah, perhaps.
I'm just
I,
for the time that my husband and I get to be on the same project at the same time, so we could be like, that's the thing, we did it together.
teamwork. Rachel, thank you so much for joining me on my podcast. I'm gonna do this quick because we're gonna get cut off because of Zoom's time limit. Where can we find you on the internet? So, have you got any social media? Have you got a website?
I am rachelkimsey.com, at Rachel Kimsey at Twitter and Instagram, and every once in a while I'm on Facebook. I try to be really easy to find.
Sweet. Well, in that case, you guys can go and follow Rachel there. Thank you so much for watching this episode of In Conversation with ATF with the lovely Rachel Kimsey. Stay safe, stay happy, be kind to others and to yourself, of course. And we'll see you around. All right. Take care, all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Bye. And cut.